just cast our minds back. Can you imagine, thousands of years ago, how society was organized? People used to generally be hunter-gatherers, and they would be in clans or tribes, wouldn't they? I'm not just talking about Africa. I'm talking about the plains of Europe. I'm talking about North America, where you had what we call the Red Indian people. And even in Asia, you had all these tribes going around, and it was hunting and gathering. Before they started organizing themselves, realizing that they had to partition land off because they wanted to go into agriculture. So they're wandering around and they're doing stuff. Now, let's say you've got a clan of 40 or you've got a tribe of 400. Doesn't matter. Who was the guy that was doing the speeches? The chief or the king. And sometimes it was the head of the army. But if you think carefully, the head of the army and the king was the same person. Because in order to be the head of the army, you had to be the king. In order to be the king, you had to lead your tribe out to battle. So that was the only guy who did talks. Now you might ask, well, was there a religious head? Well, maybe. And maybe he also did talks. And maybe there was a teacher that used to teach the little kids. So maybe he or she also did talks. But let's say out of a tribe of 400, it's a maximum of 3 or 4 people that actually do speeches. And the reason why the king was good at speeches is when he was a little boy, his daddy was the king. So he knew he was going to be the king, so he practiced his speeches, so he became good at it. What about the rest of us? You see, we can sit around a table and we can have a spontaneous conversation with people. And we can be very animated and interesting. I don't know if you've ever sat at a restaurant and watched people having a discussion. And you might have a table of 6, and they're animated, and they're laughing, and they're joking, and they tell stories, and everyone roars with laughter, and then this person, it's fantastic. And then I take you and I say to you, right, get up and do a speech in front of people, and you sort of, and you're looking at your notes, and because it's different. It's unnatural. Because you probably weren't the descendant of the king who had to do a speech at the tribe. So what I'm saying to you is that we human beings need to learn how to present. And the reason that we need to learn how to present is that there's a lot more to doing this than just getting up and talking.